What happened to Mama Cherri soul food shit? I thought I did a reaction to this. Oh, after Kitchen Nightmares. Maybe this is a different one. I thought I swore I did a reaction. This episode, this was my favorite one. Because there was nothing wrong with the food. That woman, Chevy said it herself. That woman can cook her ass off. Something serious. It was funny. He got what's the chef? Supposed to be the head chef, Brian, moonwalking in the kitchen. Chef saying, "What's going on in here?" This probably the best one. That soul food plate. You can almost smell it through the TV. That soul food plate. It looks like it was something serious.
Who do you call when your soul food restaurant has lost its soul and your staff has lost their passion? It's time for Gordon Ramsay to step in. Sharita Jones opened Momma Cherri's Soul Food Shack in Brighton, England to deliver delicious comfort food to locals and tourists, all served with a big smile.
Nachos, 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 5 nachos.
But her dining room is empty, and so is her bank account. She owes £65,000 and works 7 days a week to pay off the debt. Her staff are taking the relaxed vibes a little too far, arriving late for work when they should be helping to prep for the day.
If you turned up for work half an hour late in my kitchen, you'd be home for the day, looking for a new fucking job.
Despite having raised 33 foster kids,
might be
Sharita is struggling to control her
playing
business.
that music.
When Gordon arrives at the tiny restaurant, he is warmly greeted by the owner, who explains that the cozy atmosphere is meant to feel like being in her home, along with 40 other guests. While the weekends are busy, weekdays are very quiet, and she has yet to make a profit in the 3.5 years she's been open. She figures she only has 3 to 6 months to turn the business around. While Sharita introduced herself as the cook, Brian Moyo was originally hired as the head chef. His boss writes the menu and spends more hours in the kitchen, which he admits makes his job much easier. It's time to taste the food. First up is catfish goujons with pineapple salsa, which is light and perfectly fried. Amazingly, Chef Ramsay announces that he likes it. Next up is a huge plate of ribs, jambalaya, and succotash.
Ooh, the ribs.
Though the presentation is clumsy, the ribs are tender and delicious. Gordon finishes the whole dish and heads upstairs to the kitchen to compliment the chefs, telling them it's like being fed by his own mom. Sharita is delighted.
I said Gordon Ramsay. And he cleaned his place.
The next morning, Gordon returns to the restaurant.
You don't see too many episodes where the plate is clean. He's mostly cursing people out.
Sharita is prepping for dinner. She works alone every morning in an attempt to save money. But this means the
that plate was gone.
Pre-cooking will sit for up to 8 hours before they are served. And many of the other dishes come from one of the kitchen's 13 freezers. When Brian arrives, Ramsay tells him that he is not really cooking, just putting dishes together. The head chef agrees, and is finding it hard to stay motivated. That night, Gordon meets some of the part-time staff who keep the restaurant running. The atmosphere is very laid back, with staff arriving late and sous chef 80 chatting about his day job in construction. As customers begin to arrive, it's Sharita who gets to work cooking, while the others just put together boring salads, heat the food, and serve it on cold plates.
He said boring salads.
There are plenty of staff on hand, but the owner is doing everything, leaving the other 2 chefs with nothing to do but joke around. As she's losing £1,000 a week, Gordon fears that one of the kitchen staff will have to go. The next morning, Chef Ramsay is the first to arrive at the restaurant and discovers a pile of ingredients on the doorstep. Brian is half an hour late, and then watches as Sharita washes up dishes.
She's in, she opens up, brings all the supplies upstairs. You should be ashamed of yourself. Right.
Sharita whips up a batch of fresh macaroni and cheese.
I remember he said he was running late because he had kids and
but
stuff.
will be put straight in the freezer.
Or something happened.
The overworked owner admits that she won't let Brian put any of her recipes together, despite him being an experienced chef, and would rather freeze her food in advance. It's a Saturday lunchtime, and the dining room is completely empty. Gordon sits down with Cherri to
I
look at the
remember
menu
that.
and questions the high prices.
Good as that food
She
looks.
tells
What the
Chef
heck?
Ramsay that the bank manager insisted she raise prices to make more money, but Gordon is convinced it's killing the business. Instead, he wants to reduce the huge portion sizes and persuade every guest to have 3 courses instead of 1. The next step is to tempt new customers through the door. Chef Ramsay takes Cherri down to Brighton Seafront to give out samples of her fresh soul food. The locals love the tasty ribs and Cherri's warm personality, and Gordon hopes they have won over enough people to fill the dining room that night. Back in the kitchen, Ramsay tells the team their attitudes need to change, and they need to take their work more seriously. The head chef is told to stop smiling, and Gordon has instructions for Cherri too. She is to stay out of the kitchen completely and let Brian run the line. Instead, she'll be front of house, charming her guests. The restaurant is fully booked, and orders come in quickly. Brian decides he won't use the frozen wings that were prepared earlier, and instead makes them fresh. It's a strong start, and Gordon is impressed. Unfortunately, the plates are still cold, the salad is still uninspired, and the meatloaf is still tough. A couple of hours into service, and orders are starting to back up. Cherri repeatedly checks in with Brian, which slows the chef down even more.
As that pig feet go on, because it needs to go on now, because it takes your time, yeah?
Every minute you're in here, we're losing money.
Despite Brian's tiny,
She couldn't help
Gordon
herself.
is happy with how the service went.
But she could
Sure
cook
that
her
the
tail
chef
off,
get
though.
faster
So
as
that
they
woman
get
could
used to
cook.
serving
Well, she
fresh
couldn't
meat.
help herself. She had to get
To
back
help
in
build
that
his
kitchen.
confidence, the next morning, Chef Ramsay visits Brian at home, where he is looking after his daughter while his wife is at work. Together, they make a meatloaf, which Gordon is convinced will be more moist than Cherri's recipe. The results are delicious.
I remember that. They had it
Perfectly
fixed with
seasoned
bacon.
meatloaf will be on that night's menu. Back at the restaurant, Gordon uses a simple cake recipe to show how important it is to equally balance staff costs, food costs, and gross profit. When the 3 elements come together, the cake will rise perfectly. But with her current overheads being so high, the recipe just won't succeed, however hard she works. The lesson touches a nerve as a tearful Cherri begins to believe in herself and her team.
Why are you crying, Teresa?
Oh, she would go with the
At
ass.
Wayfair, we get pretty excited about furniture. Around here, it's not a patio, it's patio.
Oh, I love those chairs. I'm not going to lose my business.
To draw in
I hated
meat
that.
customers,
She still had
Chef
that
Ramsay
restaurant.
plans
I
to
hate
create a
that.
fixed price menu at £10 per head. The first item to be included will be salad, but not the boring version that they are currently serving. Instead, he teaches Brian to make a colorful, rustic salad with a cumin dressing that even Cherri can't resist. Along with the salad, they will serve bowls of fresh jerk chicken.
Oh, that sap. That
rice,
Let me get that back.
soup, vegetables, in any
That's that plate I was talking
salad.
about.
They will serve bowls of
Ooh, what do they call it? Soul in a bowl. Okay, you got your wings, your ribs, your rice, your vegetables. I don't know what the other stuff is on the other side. But yeah, that looks serious. The yellow rice perfect with it. Yeah, that plate there, boy.
fresh jerk chicken, ribs,
jerk chicken.
rice,
But it was hot.
soup,
I'm thinking of
vegetables,
fried wings.
and anything else that needs to be used up. Back out on the street, Cherri is spreading the word about her 3-course, soul in a bowl, tapas-style menu. After a quick interview on the local radio station, the phones start to ring and the restaurant is fully booked, with 55 customers across 2 sittings on a Wednesday night. Sadly, the kitchen is still empty as Brian has been unable to get a babysitter. When he finally arrives, the prep work gets underway, with Gordon acting as sous chef. But Brian is still moving too slowly, and Chef Ramsay gets frustrated. Cherri is ready to take control of her business. She gives her team a new set of rules to follow, starting with arriving on time for their shifts. A flag is raised outside the Soul Food Shack to signify a fresh start. Upstairs, Brian is nervous and is still peeling potatoes. But downstairs, customers are happy and the dining room is so busy that walk-ins are being turned away. As orders come in, Brian is no longer smiling, and food is flying out. The team is communicating well, and the guests love the flavors. Sous Chef 80 has also stepped up, as he made a testy pecan pie that even Gordon can't resist. And Cherri has managed to stay out of the kitchen, which feels more organized and professional. As the final tables are served, satisfied customers are already planning their next visit, and Brian's self-confidence is increasing. The next day, the entire team is in early to prepare for another busy night. The freezer stocks have run out, and everything will be made from scratch. Before Gordon leaves, he hopes that 80 will commit to the business, but the youngster isn't sure what his future holds.
I don't want to be working those sort of hours on 30 unless I'm as rich as you.
Brian admits that he has been cooking without passion for too long, but tells Chef Ramsay that it's all about to change. But the biggest shift is Cherri, who finally feels fully in control of her business. Gordon leaves, feeling hopeful that the business will thrive in the coming weeks. When he returns 2 months later, Gordon gets a warm welcome from the owner, who is in the dining room, not the kitchen. The soul in the bowl concept is still keeping customers happy, and Brian is now working full-time as head chef. On weekdays, he works alone in the kitchen and takes great pride in every dish. Gordon is impressed with the fresh food he's sending, and the speed it flies out at. Downstairs, Cherri's big personality helps to sell the food to new customers every night. The month's takings are up 60% on the previous year, and the previous Saturday they served 105 customers across 3 cities. Gordon sits down to eat and is impressed with the clear new menu that Cherri has put together. She feels confident that the restaurant has a future, and Chef Ramsay asks her how her financial cake recipe is looking.
If you had to put it
never
together
forget
now,
that one.
where would it come out of your cake?
My cake will come out better than your cake.
That means you're cooking the books.
He promises to return for more delicious soul food in the future. Gordon visited Momma Cherri's Soul Food Shack in December 2004, returning early in 2005 for a brief revisit. The episode aired in the UK in June 2005, and viewers immediately warmed to Cherri Jones and her team. Her appearance on the show led to interviews in national papers, including a write-up in the Sunday Times 2 months later. In that interview, she admits that she is once again shopping for the restaurant, and begins prepping food every morning, alone. Brian joins her later in the small kitchen, and they work together to get ready for the lunch and dinner services. It seems Gordon's instructions to stay out of the kitchen and hand over to Brian didn't last long at all.
Couldn't help herself.
As well as making Cherri a local celebrity, publicity from the show instantly boosted the business. As this was one of the very few episodes where Gordon cleaned his plate, viewers from miles around...
I think she moved restaurant too.
Momma Cherri's
She moved somewhere else.
broadcast.
I remember another
This
episode she
success
moved.
created a new problem. The Shack's small dining room wasn't big enough to cope with the huge interest. Cherri was now turning away up to 80 customers every day, and even the waiting list became unmanageable. In the summer of 2006, the business moved to larger
Yeah,
premises
she moved.
nearby,
I remember that.
which Cherri called Momma Cherri's Big House. In November 2006, 2 years after his original visit, Gordon returned to Momma Cherri's Soul Food to find out how the business was doing. Gordon is shocked by the huge new restaurant, which covers 5 floors and offers 3 times the number of seats. Cherri greets Gordon warmly and shows off her busy dining room, which now averages 1,000 covers a week and is fully booked 3 months in advance. In the kitchen, he finds head chef Brian along with 9 extra chefs, but no 80, who has left the business. Chef Ramsay is keen to talk food and heads for the freezers. He's disappointed to find trays and trays of chicken wings that have been pre-prepared when Brian had previously been proud to cook everything fresh.
Who's like
Gordon
chicken?
samples a catfish goujon and spits it out. That's a big change from the clean plate Cherri had been so proud of. He is angry and upset at the new fast food feel of the bigger restaurant, and Brian can't defend the dish.
Right now, Gordon, I feel like I'm crying my fucking heart out. This is shit.
You're right, it is shit.
Customers in the dining
Yeah, I
room
remember. Yeah, he was
also
feeling
noticed
bad. I remember that. He was
and are
feeling
disappointed
terrible.
with the bland food, given Momma Cherri's great reputation. Chef Ramsay admits to Cherri that he doesn't even want to eat the food he's seen. He wants the soul in a bowl concept back, along with the passion he once saw. The next morning, Gordon tells Cherri that she's taking too many bookings and rushing too many customers through the door, which won't build her reputation long term. In the kitchen, Ramsay gets his chef's jacket on and steps in to teach Brian how to run a big brigade.
Find your fucking bollocks and start running this fucking kitchen before we're running to the ground.
Telling the
With Rayo's made for home brick oven crust pizza, Delicious is finally in the frozen
what that
pizza
company's
aisle.
got frozen
The
pizza
with
now.
crust.
Telling the team the previous evening's food was terrible, Gordon gives them 25 minutes to come up with 5 soul-in-a-bowl dishes. Brian steps up, and his chefs produce a tray of fresh, flavorful food. But Gordon has changed his tune about Cherri's position. He wants her to actively oversee what Brian is producing to keep him on track. The owner and head chef hug and agree to stick together to rebuild Mama Cherri's big house. Gordon sits down to lunch, which is delicious, and takes him back to the soul food he first sampled at the shack. As long as Cherri sticks to fresh food, cooked and served with love, Chef Ramsay is hopeful that a restaurant will remain a success. Over the next couple of months, visitors reported that Mama Cherri's food was good, and the soul in a bowl concept was a hit with visitors. But in the summer of 2007, things started to go wrong for Cherri and her business. Head chef Brian, who had been a foundation of the restaurant from the very beginning, left to focus on his art projects. And in October 2007, the local newspaper reported that the restaurant had been awarded a new hygiene rating of 0 stars out of 5. While Cherri was unbothered by her rating, blaming a temporary problem with the hot water and faulty fridge, the local Food Standards Authority report revealed that there was little or no appreciation of food safety and an increased risk of E. coli for diners. Reviews of the big house from around this time mentioned inedible food served under temperature and a building that could use a deep clean. One of the few Yelp reviews seemed to agree after getting sick from eating greasy ribs and chicken with mysterious film on it. The restaurant was rated just 3 out of 5, and Cherri's problems didn't end there. Despite making a profit from the food, she was facing the restaurant's potential closure as the business had become too big to handle following her overnight success. It seemed the restaurant owner was struggling to keep the restaurant open after overcommitting herself with local community projects. Along with cooking demonstrations and lessons, Cherri released her own cookbook, which received great reviews and led to yet more publicity for the soul food celebrity chef and her Brighton restaurant. But that still didn't seem to be enough. In January 2008, just 3 years after Gordon's first visit, Mama Cherri's big house had run up debts of £200,000 as Cherri struggled to keep up with higher rent charges of £7,000 per month for the bigger restaurant, along with loan repayments linked to the expansion. After calling in her accountants to act as administrators, she passed the business over to her daughter, but Mama Cherri's couldn't be saved. In August 2009, administrators moved in to close the doors of Mama Cherri's for the last time, telling staff to leave before changing the locks. The big house building was taken over by an Indian restaurant, Choulda's, which received reasonable reviews and a 3.8 Yelp rating. Unfortunately, that business didn't last long, and the building is now home to a popular modern European wine bar and restaurant called Med. As for the original Soul Food Shack, unfortunately when Cherri moved out, the building became derelict, as she showed fans in a 2017 YouTube video.
This is where Gordon first came. This is
it's boarded it up.
Oh my God. Now do you see why I had to move?
The building was finally pulled down in 2018, but not before Cherri and her ex-customers said goodbye with a soul food picnic. Cherri didn't blame Gordon or the Kitchen Nightmares experience for the closure of her restaurant, instead naming the economic climate as their biggest problem. She continued to sell her food at local events and focused on writing a second cookbook and creating a range of soul food sauces for supermarkets. In October 2009, Cherri opened a new restaurant in Brighton, Mama Cherri's Speakeasy, but it lasted just 2 months before it closed. Over the next couple of years, Cherri made regular TV appearances as a soul food expert and celebrity chef, cooking up her now world-famous ribs and sharing her secret recipes. In 2017, she even appeared alongside two other Kitchen Nightmares survivors when Gordon presented the nightly show and reminisced about their first meeting.
That was a first for me, because I think it was the first time I've ever been so complimentary about the food. It was an incredible experience.
Thank you, darling.
Amazing.
During this time, Cherri tried once again to open a restaurant, this time with partners. But her new venture,
She was
her ribs
determined.
soul,
This restaurant
only lasted
business.
2 years. As her business was closing, her ex-head chef Brian's latest venture was thriving. After disappearing for a few years, Brian opened Soul Food Food Bar with his brother.
Oh yeah, I
before
heard
they
about
shifted
that.
their focus to a burger bar. Bringing together African and Caribbean flavors,
His brother
Soul
looked just
Food
like him.
briefly became Bad Boys Burgers, before being renamed Moyo's. Soul Food was rated 4.8 out of 5 on Google reviews, and the newly rebranded burger bar was rated just as highly. Brian and his brother reached the finals of the 2018 National Burger Awards with their prize-winning Philly Burger, and continue to serve premium burgers with a soul food twist from Moyo's Brighton kitchen to this day. We're happy that Brian didn't leave the kitchen for too long, and wish him every success in the future. Who knows, the Momma Cherri's Kitchen Nightmares episode could result in 2 new celebrity chefs. In 2019, Cherri posted on Facebook acknowledging the decade that had passed since the closing of Momma Cherri's, which she called a dark time. She also mentioned many projects she had underway, from local pub pop-ups to producing recipes for a profitable YouTube channel. In March 2023, Cherri reopened Momma Cherri's in Brighton, but only as a month-long pop-up restaurant. A year later, she was back on UK TV screens when she competed against other small suppliers to get their products on supermarket shelves. Her Cajun seasoning mix containing 20 herbs and spices was named Love Dust, and though it didn't win, she
The
didn't
Love
give up.
Dust.
Instead, she sold it alongside other Momma Cherri's products on her own website. Cherri was forced to stop fostering in 2023 after helping more than 75 children when her husband suffered health problems. Her social media shows that she's happy, healthy, and enjoying spending time with her husband, family, and friends. And yes, those regular reunions with friends still include her longtime head chef at Momma Cherri's, Brian. We wish them all our best wishes for the future, and can't wait to see what they do next.
Yeah, that was the best. That was the best one.
For the ones ensuring the job.
Yeah, that was something. So I remember that. Now it's coming back. I remember she had moved to a bigger building, and then Ramsey popped back up. And I think they were getting booked like several months ahead, so that food was so damn good. And the next thing you know, what's his name went to the freezer, and he got hot all over again. Ramsey. And he said, "What the fuck is going on in here? Huh? Yeah." But that was the best one. That soul in a bowl and that soul food plate was fixed up perfectly. The rice in the middle, and what was it? The ribs, chicken, the salad. And I don't know if that stuff on the other side would look like potato salad, so I don't know what that was. And then what the hell? Some little sweet potato things, not sweet potato fries, but little sweet potatoes, and something else. But yeah, that was something. I didn't know Brian had left and went to do something else, because I guess the burger place that came later on. But yeah, so I think he was I think it's on Facebook. Yeah. So I'm sure it was on Facebook too. But yeah, that was the best one. That's the only one I remember seeing. Gordon didn't hate the food and said that the food tastes like Granddad's old leather boots. That's the only restaurant he liked it. The rest of the time, what is this shit? Hey? Yeah? You're serving me garbage on a plate. Yeah. So I remember I think he did 3 or 4 soul food restaurants. Because one place, that meat was tough. I remember that. And the other place, the woman felt bad. It's like this is terrible, and they don't care back there. And then that one with the I think the lady was the daughter was the owner or something like that, or that fine woman. And then I think the smoked meat was good, but it was 2 days behind, or something crazy happened. And had like smoked ribs and smoked wings or something. I don't know. But yeah, that something. But yeah, with the Soul Food Shack. Yeah, that place was something. I wish it was still there. That place looked like it was something serious.